Hello, Nick.
Hi there. At this time, I remember to unmute myself this time.
Yeah, you actually did it this time.
I don't know how, but I was able to.
Good. So, we should have been on 15 minutes ago, folks, but there was a little difficulty.
Yeah, another technical issue.
Yeah, this time completely different from what we had been having, but we're here. We are ready to go. So, how are you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good. How about you, Jeremy?
Doing all right? Um, we are kind of reeling from the windstorm that we just had.
Oh God. Yeah, that's the same thing with us. I actually had a little bit of a difficulty when I got back home today. I didn't even think about this earlier this morning, but as you know, I like to decorate, of course, like for my different holidays, and I had Irish flags lined up out on the lawn for these past couple days. For St. Patrick's Day. When we got back home, a couple of them had blown away. So I
Oh
found
no!
most of them, thankfully. I mean, some of them got scattered across the neighborhood, like three or four houses down. I had to find them, but there might be one or two still missing.
Well, we got it real bad here. Um, Lots of branches broken. I know of two trees that got blown down. Um, a semi got turned over.
Jeez.
Yeah, it got real bad over here.
Yeah, we didn't get as much impact, but we still got the broken branches and stuff. So yeah, either way, we pretty much got it too.
Yeah, we. I lost power here twice that I'm aware of.
Okay, okay.
Um, I know. Let's see. My dad lost power once. We're on different lines. Uh, let's see. I know other parts of Fort Wayne lost power. Yeah, it was real bad.
I'm sure.
Dad was out walking in the wind, and I was watching because he came over to the house, and I was watching him as he went back home, and I thought for sure the wind was going to knock him over.
Oh man, yeah, it's amazing what that wind can do.
Oh, I know. Um, we were supposed to get 60-mile-an-hour wind, but I think we ended up getting more than that.
Yeah, that was about the same for gale force winds that we got. So it was about the same thing too.
Yeah. So, all right. So, since we only have just a limited amount of time today,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
dive right into it. Today's Friday the 13th,
Once again, so we're back for round two.
round two of three this year.
That's right.
And I was looking it up. We are only going to get one next year.
Yeah, I did. It's funny. I did the same exact thing. I looked up. It was yeah. There's only one for next year, and
Yeah.
that's I think like in it was like going to be sometime in August. I think of next year or something like that. I already forgot.
Uh, June next year, I
Oh,
think.
June. Yeah, yeah.
Think so. Let me double check. No, not June. Well, when is it?
I know. I had to do the same thing at one point.
August.
August. Okay, so we were close.
Yeah, August of next year. Um, so what's interesting is that the longest amount of time that you'll have between Friday the 13th will be 14 months, but yet the way that they say it, we will have one every single year, even though there is a 14-month period in between the longest, but that goes from July of one year to September the next year.
That's right. That's right.
Um, but let's but what's not talked about very often is where Friday the 13th came from.
See, and I actually did some research on like how it all started, like the key origins and beliefs. And it's surprising that even Friday the 13th goes back to even biblical times, like of how it all started as becoming kind of like a unlucky number, the number 13.
Hmm.
And so here's a couple examples I looked up at. Um, Obviously, we all have heard of the Last Supper painting, which that had 13 people, which was Jesus Christ and his 12 apostles, with Judas Iscariot. He was considered the 13th guest who betrayed Jesus. So when you really think about it, too, comparing it with Good Friday, that's the day of the crucifixion, strengthening the association of the day with bad luck. So it even goes to show that even one of the guests that Jesus Christ had at his last supper, the 13th guest, was a traitor to him and everyone else.
Well, in the painting, there's only one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's only 13 in the painting.
Yeah, that's why I said it was 13.
Yeah, that's including Jesus.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
Jesus and his 12 apostles.
So where is the 13th guest?
Like I said, that would have to be that would be a um, that would be Judas Iscariot. I'm not sure exactly which person in the painting that would be, but like I said, he was at least the 13th guest.
It, are you talking the guest as in Jesus's guests?
Yeah, one of Jesus's 12 apostles. Correct.
Okay, then that would be 12 because Jesus is the 13th person in the painting.
I know. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It just goes to show, like from what I've read, it said it had the Last Supper had 13 people, Jesus and his 12 apostles.
Well, there is one person that's kind of doing this to him.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
This, oh,
I,
that's
I
not.
haven't seen the painting in quite a long time, so didn't
Yeah.
really notice that.
Well, I was thinking that Judas was the one that was doing this, but no, according to this, is Thomas.
Okay,
Thomas is clearly upset. The raised index finger foreshadows his incredulity of the resurrection.
okay, okay.
James the Greater looks stunned with his arms in the air. I'm guessing this one here, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of hard to say.
yeah.
But now here's another example of what they also say could be like another origin of Friday the 13th. This was still during the you know close, not necessarily the Middle Ages, but close to it. But it also involves the Knights Templar. So on Friday, October 13th in 1307, um, King Philip IV of France arrested hundreds of Templar knights, leading to torture and execution, which many believe cursed the date. So that's another primary example of how Friday the 13th became this cursed day.
Uh, yeah, you need to lean forward, Nick.
Yeah, I know. I'm just about to. I keep disappearing. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, well, that's the one I wanted to get into today. The one with the Knights Templar, because that one changed everything in the course of history.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. I mean, and not just necessarily just for for France itself, just throughout the early days of Europe in general. I mean that really changed a lot of different things.
It really did, and of course, 1307.
Yeah,
So that's where another 13 comes in. Um, so okay, what do we? Oh, and now Zach goes in and deletes some stuff. I'm gonna have to let him know that if the storage is full, we can't go live.
right, right.
Yeah, I did not know that. I did not know that. So I didn't have time to really look anything up. Um, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. So uh, King Philip IV mistrusted the Templars. The Teutonic Teutonic Knights
Yeah.
ruled Pru- either Prussia or Prussia under charters issued by the Pope and the Holy Roman Emperor as a sovereign monastic state. He was concerned that the Templars in the Languedoc of southeastern France were planning the same thing. In 1306, the Templars had supported a coup on the island of Cyprus, which had forced King Henry II of Cyprus to abdicate his throne in favor of his brother. King Philip had inherited land in Champagne, France, which was the Templars' headquarters. The Templars were already a state within a state, were institutionally wealthy, paid no taxes, which I'm pretty sure that was a big no-no in his view.
Oh yeah, I'm sure not. I'm sure not.
Yeah, and had a large standing army by which pa- papal. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
pronouncing it.
that's I've heard of the word before. I can't remember exactly myself how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's basically Pope related.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
decree could move freely throughout all European borders. However, this army no longer had a presence in the Holy Land, leaving it with no battlefield. Philip had also inherited an impoverished kingdom from his father and was already deeply in debt to the Templars. So that's where this starts building up and getting interesting.
Right, right.
However, recent studies emphasize the political and religious motivations of the French king. It seems that with the discovery and repression of the Templars' heresy, the Capetian monarchy claimed for itself the mystic foundations of the papal theocracy. The temple case was the last step of a process of appropriating these foundations, which had begun with the Franco-papal rift at the time of Boniface VIII. During being the ultimate defender of the Catholic faith, the king was invested in a Christ-like function that put him above the Pope, which was at stake in the Templars' trial then when the establishment of a royal theocracy. At dawn on Friday, October 13, 1307, scores of French Templars were simultaneously, well, as you said,
Hmm.
arrested, tortured, into admitting heresy and other sacrilegious offenses in the order. Then they were put to death.
Right. And it's because of that very reason they thought the day that this all occurred, because it happened on Friday the 13th, that's one of the, again, another example of showing how the day became cursed as a result of the torture and execution of all the Templars.
Keep going. I'm sending
Yeah,
a message here.
yeah. It would make a lot of sense too if you really think about like how it could be seen as the day that really, the first Friday the 13th that was really cursed because, like, understandably, there was a lot of death surrounding that particular day. And, people died horribly as a result. So I'm sure, for the ones who survived or people who were aware of it, they thought like this, they probably thought it's just like any disaster or anything like that. They were going to say, this will be a date we will never forget. And from this point on, it's just, I'm just throwing this out as an example, but they were probably thinking to themselves from this point on, Friday, we're going to be looking on a day like Friday when 13 is on a Friday. We're going to look at it as like a cursed day. I'm sure that's probably something they probably thought in their minds.
Okay. Um, another thing, that's written here. It actually goes on to 1308.
1308. Okay, so the following year.
Yeah. On August 12th, 1308, the charges would be increased and become more outrageous. That actually kind of sounds similar to a few things going on today.
Yeah, it really does.
One specifically stated that the Templars worship idols, especially made of a cat and a head, the latter of three faces. It'd be nice to have a little context there.
Yeah, really.
The list of articles 86 to 1. Okay, now this is where it doesn't make any sense. It says 86 to 127 with a 3 in parentheses would add many other charges. The majority of these charges were identical to the charges that had been earlier issued against the inconvenient Pope Boniface VIII, accusations of denying Christ, spitting and urinating on the cross, and devil worship. Of the 138 Templars, many of them old men, questioned in Paris over the next few years, 105 of them confessed to denying Christ during the secret Templar initiations. 103 of them confessed to an obscene kiss being part of the ceremonies, and 123 said they spat on the cross. Although the trial there was never, um, throughout the trial, there was never any physical evidence of wrongdoing and no independent witnesses. The only proof was obtained through confessions induced by torture. Now, we all know how that can be. There have been um, numerous documentations, and it's even been shown in some movies where somebody will confess to something just to get the torture to stop.
Exactly. Basically confessing to something that they didn't actually do and just giving them giving the interrogators what they want to hear practically.
Right.
So, and unfortunately, to some varying degree, that still goes on, to this day, even in some other countries.
It does, and it's pretty sad when you look at it because basically you had already been deemed guilty without any argument, any trial, any trying to defend yourself. You're
Yeah,
already guilty, and they are going to make you say you're guilty even if you're not.
right.
Yeah, that does happen today, and it's not just it's not just in the political world, but it happens a lot in the mafia,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
organized crime, because they
Oh yeah, they obviously enjoy it when they because that's their way of you know that's their way of intimidating and terrorizing their victims.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's that they if they believe you're guilty, there can be no argument. You're guilty.
Yeah, yeah,
There is no trying to convince them, hey, I'm not the one that did it, someone else did.
right, right.
Is not up for discussion.
They've even like demonstrated that too, like obviously with movies and television shows, especially a lot of the cop shows. Like
Yeah.
that even in fact, they actually did that for the longest time for the show we have here, Chicago PD. I've never really seen it, but I have heard about it. And I just recently heard now the latest episodes, they've cut down on that a lot because it's been causing a lot of controversy. And it probably has echoed even cops here to kind of do something similar like that. And that's probably when the producers thought, okay, we got to cut down on this stuff because if we keep going down this path, we're going to get a lot of controversy. There's even a possibility we all could end up in jail for it. So that's why they start cutting a lot of that. So it just really goes to show that like it's really when it comes to those type of confessions, it's never to be taken lightly.
Yeah. Um, and back then, these are well, this is still technically, I guess. No, it wouldn't be considered biblical times because that's all BC era.
Yeah, this was like during the early ages.
Yeah, early ages or middle ages.
I I may research and do a lot of history, but I always get confused on like what's considered like the biblical, well, like biblical times. I know is BC, but like the early ages or the Middle Ages, I've had trouble trying to figure out exactly what those years are.
Well, let's see if we can find that out, shall
Yeah,
we?
real, yeah, really.
Okay, Middle Ages is a period between the 5th and 15th century, so this is considered the Middle Ages.
Okay, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So when the Knights Templar were arrested, rounded up, tortured, killed, it was there towards the end of the Middle Ages.
Okay, yeah. So like about 100 years before the Middle Ages officially came to an end.
A little more than that.
Or about 200 years, I would say, because they went to the 15th century. Said
Yeah. Um, and at that point, that's where they basically go into the Renaissance era.
correct. Yes.
Yeah. That would have been a fun one to live through, I think.
Oh, I'm sure. I've gone to the Renaissance fair myself.
Can you bring your laptop closer to you?
Yeah, hang on. Okay, is that better now?
Uh,
Because
well,
I have my laptop in the same spot, but I don't want to continue pulling it because otherwise it's going to literally fall off the table.
yeah, well, maybe not have your background thing on.
Yeah. Well, it's just that I had this for decoration. Let's see how it looks for the next couple minutes, and then if it's
Yeah.
still not working too good, I'll take it down.
So, so yeah, the whole thing with the Knights Templar, um, plus the Knights Templar have also been associated with Freemasonry.
Yes. Yes.
Um, they had been associated with a supposed world treasure,
Mm-hmm.
um, one so vast that no one man should ever be allowed to have it.
Right. Right.
Um, I dare say one so vast that no one country should be allowed to have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't really know the contents of this treasure or what the value is. I don't think anyone really truly knows. Just like just like the whereabouts of the Holy Grail.
Correct. Yes.
Um, a lot of suspicions of that, of
Hmm.
where it is and what it could possibly be. But after 2,000 years, unless they really kept track of it. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Unless they really kept track of it all this time, nobody knows.
No, and I doubt it's ever going to be really like the answer is ever coming anytime soon. It could be another 2,000 years or so.
Wow,
If we're even still around, that is, of course.
that would be the question, considering how things are going right now.
uh, exactly. Yeah.
Um, so, so with that, um, Friday the 13th has been deemed cursed. And over time, that's where all these superstitions were born. Um, never let a black cat cross your path. Don't walk underneath a ladder.
Don't break a mirror.
Don't break a mirror. Yep. Forgot about that one. It's
Um, oh, almost one more too is don't have salt poured over your shoulder either. No way, no, you it's pepper. You accidentally knock pepper over, that's considered bad luck.
okay. I'm not familiar with that one.
That's kind of, I would say, one of the more recent ones. I would want to say. Apparently, if you knock down it was either one of the two, salt or pepper. I think it's actually, now that I'm thinking, I think it's more salt. If you knock down the salt, then you got to like take a little bit of salt and then like throw, I think like on your left shoulder or something like that to end bad luck. That's kind of a new one of the more recent bad luck ideas.
Now, I do know that the Japanese throw salt in the air.
Yeah, they do.
Uh,
Knock salt over salt. Yeah, what Joe just said.
okay. Um, there's also a stigma behind the number 13. And this actually came from North mythology.
Yep, it's funny you mentioned that. Was the next thing I was about to bring up, was that, yeah, there's also one involving Norse mythology, but go ahead. God.
Yeah. About the now, and it's kind of similar to the Last Supper, where it talks about the 12 gods. Hey Terry, haven't seen
Hey, Terry, long time no see. How are you?
um, about 12 gods having a dinner in Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
The trickster Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest and arranged for. Oh boy, I am so going to butcher this name. Hoer?
Let me see if that
It's
shows up.
Hoor, and both of the O's have a different accent thing about them.
Yeah, that
The two O's are pronounced differently.
yeah.
Anyway, arranged for him, the god of darkness, to shoot Balder, the god of joy and gladness, with a mistletoe tipped arrow.
Wow. And with a missile
Balder
too.
died, triggering much suffering in the world, which caused the number 13 to be considered unlucky because Loki arrived as the 13th guest,
Yes.
uninvited.
What's up, Kate?
Hello, Kate.
Well,
Um, uh, little lower, Nick.
so I had to say it because said it.
I know you do. Um, so yeah, so the number 13, well, this is just one of the stories. um, because with Norse mythology, somebody came up with all this. Uh,
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing I saw too with this probably adds to with what you were talking about with the Norse mythology involving the trickster Loki. Not only was he uninvited, his pranks as a result caused chaos and the death of one of the other guests, which was Balder, if I'm saying that correctly, or Balder. Not sure how it's pronounced, but that's they also say that one of the guests actually was killed by Loki himself because of his constant pranks.
and you know what? There's actually a story going around in the news right now where students played a prank on a teacher, and the teacher ended up dying.
I saw that. In fact, earlier this afternoon, I just saw an article. I didn't get to look into it. I just saw the preview of it, but I just saw something about that where one of the students who was charged with this teacher's murder has been speaking out of, I don't know exactly explain with what happened or whatever, but yeah, that
So it is now considered murder then.
it's either considered murder or it's probably manslaughter. I don't know the update on it right now.
Okay, because I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know too many details. I don't know exactly what occurred other than that it was a prank that gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. Did they say what kind of prank it was? I never did get that far.
Um, just out of curiosity, I'm just gonna look it up quickly.
All right. So while you're looking it up, and while Nick disappears, uh, we're not exactly talking numerology, um, unless you want to talk about the number 13. But we're basically talking about the origins of the Friday the 13th superstition. Um,
Sorry.
and some of the other things involved in that, including the Last Supper, Knights Templar. Now we're talking about Norse mythology with why number 13 is considered bad. Um, then we get to talk about some of the fun stuff about the number 13.
So it says here, first of all, the one who's speaking out, his name is Jaden Wallace, and he and four other teens, which, by the way, unfortunately for them, all five of them are 18. So even though they're still students, they obviously are being charged as adults for this. Um, they went to what was the teacher's name? His name was Jason Hughes, a mentor and positive influence, and and sadly he was also a father too. So they said they went to Hughes' house. It was actually last Friday that this occurred to roll toilet paper on his trees. Now, the Hughes family previously told ABC News that Hughes some I it's in oh my god, what am I thinking? Apostrophe? No, not apostrophes. Quotes. Um, knew apparently he knew about the prank and was excited to catch the students in the act. But at some point, Hughes tripped and fell into the roadway while Wallace and the students were attempting to flee in two vehicles. And unfortunately, as a result of that, the kid Wallace he ran over Hughes while driving one of the vehicles. And although the students tried to render aid to Hughes, he later died at a hospital from his injuries. And as a result of that, Wallace is currently charged with not okay, so it's not murder, but it is still vehicular homicide. And he and the other four students are also facing charges for criminal trespassing.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, as far as how the Hughes family is feeling, they are adamant the incident was a tragic accident and fully support dropping the charges against the teenage students. Since then, all 5 students have been released on bond. Wallace is scheduled for a court appearance, which, get this, ironically enough, the court appearance is going to be on April 1st, which obviously is April Fool's Day. So, how ironic is that? The day that is also on the opposite end, the day is that is full of jokes. He's got to appear in court for what happened.
I don't know if that would be ironic or a really bad sign.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, because I don't know if I would want to have anything to do with anything on April 1st.
Right.
But
Scary thing is though too. I mean, let's face. I mean, yeah, these kids are 18, so they will be charged as adults. But even if they, again, especially in this day and age, even if they weren't 18, they could still be charged. Even if because that's just the way how things are when it comes to some of the more serious crimes like that.
man, now I get doing, every year you got to have some kind of a senior prank.
Yeah.
Um, I remember one year where a whole class, shop class, took apart the principal's entire car and reassembled it in a classroom.
Oh my God, I never heard about that before.
Yeah, that one made the rounds.
Oh, I'm sure.
And the principal couldn't even be mad because it was so original.
Wow. Oh yeah, I mean that's clearly one of those type of examples that you just you just don't see something like that every day. So
Right. Yeah.
how can you be mad on something that is not very frequently seen by a lot of human eyes? If that makes any sense, and I say that instead of a teacher's eyes because regardless of whatever you do with your job or your life or your career, not many people see something like that.
Right. So he had to appreciate the amount of effort that
Probably
when
thought
and yeah, Kate is right. Friday the 17th is
yep,
also considered very unlucky in Italy.
correct. Yeah, it's 17 over there.
Yeah. And yeah, because it says here the origin of this belief could be traced back to the number 17 in Roman numerals, like what she was just saying.
Yeah,
By shuffling the digits of the number one to get the Latin um, VIXI, I have lived, implying death at Oh yeah, she's got it right there. Um, sorry, Kate. I'm looking at my research. Barely glancing at what I'm seeing on the screen and just kind of running with it. Um, I personally like the number 13. Whenever I see it, I consider that to be good luck.
there are some other cultures that, ironically enough, they sometimes do see 13 as good luck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, although I would say probably about a good 75% of countries around the world see it mainly as bad luck. But the rest of that percentage, depending on where you are, it's seen as good luck in those cases.
I I am one of those that don't really get into superstition.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I do believe it's possible to put a curse on somebody. I do believe that is possible. Um, because the whole thing about what was the Red Sox, the Red Sox,
Yeah, yeah.
and it took them forever, almost a century, for them to win the World Series.
That's right. That's right.
All because somebody put a curse on them for, yeah, I can't even remember what the reason was. But all because somebody put a curse on them, you would never win the World Series ever again. I think they had one World Series once before that curse was put on them, and after it took them until 2004 before they finally broke the curse.
Yeah. And probably they haven't had that issue since then.
No, they haven't because I think they have done very well since then.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's funny. I was just thinking of another example. It's not necessarily associated with the number 13, but not surprisingly, 666, which obviously, as we all know, is the number of the beast or the devil himself.
yeah,
And I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but there was actually a notorious highway that ran in the southwestern part of the states, and that was called Highway 666. And it was believed that any part of that road was cursed. I mean, obviously, yes, you had a lot of the paranormal stories that associate that, haunted the road, but there were numerous car accidents or anything like that, like, or disappearances or whatnot.
Route 66.
Highway 666. But now,
No, no. What is being called, but is it actually Route 66?
I'm not sure if it's Route 66, but the other thing too is that in spite that for decades it was called Highway 666, I think it was like in the last 20 or 30 years where they decided to renumber that route. So now it's here, hold on a second. It's been a long time since I've read Highway
Well,
666.
okay, here it is. U.S. Route 66, renumbered in 2000. Oh, no.
2003.
They renumbered it in 2003 to U.S. Route 491.
491. Yeah.
But there is Florida State Road 666, County Route 666 in New Jersey, Ohio State Route 666, and Pennsylvania Route 666. And there is also um, one in Alberta, Canada,
Yep. I just saw that too.
and then Ontario went from 666 to being renumbered to 658 in 1985.
There's also one in Ireland, which is called R666,
And then one in England.
which the one here, wait, I was going to say, considering Kate is from the UK, I wonder if she's familiar with that road. But what's funny is that the one here in Ireland, it says here it's about a 17-mile long road. And they say locally, the road is sometimes humorously known as the road to hell. So, which is not surprising. But like I said, the most notorious of those roads is the one that I just mentioned that's now called US Route 491. But the weirdest thing is, well, what is odd is that even though the number has been completely changed, the curse still apparently remains, on the road. There's still
Now
like,
let's talk about that. Not necessarily changing numbers, but trying to skip over numbers.
yeah, oh, yep, I know exactly where we're going with this, so I know exactly what we're going to get to.
Yeah, so this takes us back to the number 13, and many hotels will skip the 13th floor
Yes, they will.
and go from 12 to 14. So here's a problem with that. The 14th floor is really the 13th.
It is. I saw that on a show. I can't remember what show it was that I saw, but I know one thing is that um,
Well,
they
unless they actually leave the real 13th floor vacant.
that's what I was thinking too, because I was thinking of two things. The one thing is that whatever show I saw, it was probably from one of the paranormal shows. Now I think it might have been at Mysteries at the Museum. I think, but that let's face it. You cannot truly get rid of a 13th floor. No matter what you do, it's always going to be there. Whether you renumber it or if you close it to the public or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be there. You can't escape how many floors there are. But at the same time, though, not surprisingly, like it's those type of those floors that if they're closed off, that obviously gives more rise to the urban legends of the number 13.
And funnily enough, 13 is not the only number that gets omitted when it comes to some hotels.
Yeah,
Kate was reading my mind. The number 4 is left out,
that's right.
and 14 is left out.
That's another thing I was going to bring up. Like, I think in a smaller demographic, if you will, sometimes people say that the number 14 is the actual unlucky number, not 13. So in this case, like for Saturday the 14th, this would be considered their unlucky day.
It's not necessarily because of 14 really being the 13th floor, but where I'm reading at here is because it is the pronunciation of the word that means death.
Yeah, that's right. It's even amazing to think that like 14 at times can be looked at, like again, even Saturday the 14th can be looked at as an unlucky day, much like it is with Friday the 13th, which in fact, I don't know if you know this, Jeremy, but obviously we're familiar with the Friday the 13th movies. In the 80s, they even went as far as making a parody horror film called Saturday the 14th. So
I have
parody.
that on DVD.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen it, but I have heard of it. I've been wanting to see it for a couple years now. But that is pretty much made. Was pretty much made to make fun of that case, but also to be a parody of Friday the 13th.
It's a fun movie to watch, and they actually made a sequel to that called Saturday the 14th Strikes Back.
So probably now in this case, kind of like in a way parodying the sequels for Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
because obviously Friday the 13th had so many sequels that followed.
Well, Saturday the 13th actually parodies more of the horror classics and not the Friday the 13th films.
Okay, okay.
Um, because you have a ridiculous man who is chasing after vampires,
Oh God.
and they have other classic villains. Wolfman. There you have um, the creature from the Black Lagoon in there. It's it's a stupid movie, but it is so much fun to watch. Uh,
That's what I've been hearing a few times.
I was very fortunate to find it on DVD, but the sequel is rare and expensive.
Oh, so it's probably most likely out of print.
Oh yeah, way out of print. So
So
that's why trying. That's why looking for it online. It's not easy.
yeah, so it's like finding a copy is difficult to find. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised because even though there are people that do this, like we talked about a week or so ago, I'm just gonna look up just out of curiosity, just to see if Saturday the 14th strikes back. Oh, up. Okay, well, somebody uploaded it on YouTube, so you can watch it there for free.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they apparently did.
I was not aware of that.
Well, it's because like after when we did Supernatural talk last week, and when I was telling you guys about that other rare movie about the demon murder case, the one the TV movie that was made back in the 80s. We looked that up, and there it was. So I thought, you know, considering that someone has been like, or some YouTubers have been uploading copies of rare movies, I'm thinking, I'm betting this film, Saturday the 14th Strikes Back, is going to be there. And I was right. Yeah, but it's there all right. I would download. I mean, of course, I haven't seen that one, but if you enjoy it, I would probably say you may want to download it while you have the chance because you may not have an opportunity of actually owning like a full DVD copy of that movie.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm
Good,
down.
good.
Yeah, because I have downloaded a lot of rare stuff from YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing too.
Yeah,
The rare stuff, it's like I gotta have it.
I downloaded all but one of the Gilligan's Island movies.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
No, no, I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, I just remember I used to watch that with my grandfather.
Yeah, I grew up on Gilligan.
That was a good show. Well, my mom didn't really like it, but I did, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie was so much fun. It's just too bad that Tina Louise has such a poor opinion of it.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I was looking up some other stuff about Friday the 13th. Give me 1 second here. Where did Oh shoot, I accidentally exited out with okay, well, I was able to get it back. So there was a few other things that I found on Friday the 13th, which adds more to the origins to it. This is more based on the cultural factors, but it's actually it does make sense though. This next one, so the number 13 is often viewed as imperfect compared to 12 because, like, when you think about it, there's 12 months, 12 zodiac signs, and 12 apostles, as I already mentioned. Which, so, it does make sense where a lot of things come in 12. And let's see what else I could find here.
well, speaking of the zodiacs, somebody had been trying to change it. You keep disappearing, Nick.
I know I was sitting back for a second. Sorry.
People have been trying to change the zodiacs from 12 to 13.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't hear anything about that, actually. That's new for me.
It was a while back because the months usually have 4 weeks, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So,
Except for maybe like February, but yeah.
well, even February, it's got 28 days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay, I take it back. Yeah.
So, somebody got the bright idea to take the number of weeks of the year, which is 52,
Mm-hmm.
divide it by 4, and come up with the number 13.
Right.
And do that and try to turn it into to where you add a 13th sign into the astrology, shifting a whole bunch of the signs for people. So like for me, I'm a Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and if the 13th astrological sign were to be universally accepted, I believe I would then become a Gemini.
Yeah, that would I would have assumed it would.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
And also, while you're looking that up, I'm just sort of seeing what Kate just said. The story of the cat not being invited to the Zodiac banquet. I don't remember hearing anything about. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
No, I haven't, but it wouldn't surprise me if the story of the cat is a black cat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, okay.
I almost just thought of one more. I forgot to mention this earlier when we were talking about the different bad lucks and stuff. I just realized I forgot one more that we were because we were talking about breaking mirrors. the black cat, walking under a ladder, salt. There's also stepping on a crack too.
I did forget about that one.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot that one too myself. I felt like there was still one more out there. I just couldn't remember, and it just came up. It just came back in my head.
Okay, here we go. Yes, I would go from being a Cancer to, well, wait a minute. Okay, yes, I would go from being a Cancer to a Gemini.
Okay.
I don't think I'd want to be Gemini.
See, obviously, with my birthday, which is in February, that makes me a Pisces.
Yeah, well, if that got changed, you would be. Let's see, what day is your birthday?
February 24th.
With this 13th one, that would make you Aquarius.
Aquarius. Okay. Okay.
So, no, I think I like being Cancer.
Yeah, Pisces works for me too. I'm fine with it. Not to mention, a good vast majority of my family are Pisces, except for my two sisters, because theirs are later in the year. My sister Angela, hers is in June, which that is, I forgot exactly which zodiac sign that is.
Well,
Um,
if it's in June, it's either Gemini or a Cancer.
that probably is Gemini then. Uh, for my sister Angela, and then for my other sister, her name's Jen. Not sure why. Oh wait, I was gonna say I'm not sure why, but I keep forgetting why. I keep forgetting hers, but hers is in September, September 7th.
Okay. Holy cow, Nick! We're almost at an hour already.
I know it's gone by so quick.
It did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd feel up to this, but like when if we ever wanted to do like another part two of looking for more of the origins of Friday the 13th, like for the next one, like later this year, I'm sure we could probably find more stuff involving the origins, because I got a feeling there's still a lot more to talk about for the origins of Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, there always will be. Uh, Before we wrap up, let's talk about the fear of the number 13.
Yeah, it's which is like one of the world's longest words out there, which I've been trying to. There's two of them actually, but there is
Well, the one here is triskaidekaphobia.
tri, tris, triskaidekaphobia. That's what it is.
Triskaidekaphobia. That's how I think it's pronounced. But there's another one. Um, that that's an even longer word.
Oh yeah, that one I haven't been able to
Uh,
pronounce yet. I'm lucky at least to do. It's like
it's para something.
Paraskeva Paris. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm probably gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna try anyway. Paraskeva deck. Oh wait, you know what? It actually is almost like the same exact word, but just like a couple like differences. Paraskeva decatriophobia. I don't know if I said that right, but Paraskeva decatriophobia.
Okay, Mary Poppins.
No, not that word, but and before you say it, because I know they did that during that song, but I have no idea, nor am I going to try to attempt to even say it backwards. So I'm good on that.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
No, I'm not talking about that word. I'm talking about this word we're looking at.
Oh, I had it on my screen. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to succeed of
Yeah.
saying
Oh,
that.
here it is. The fear of Friday the 13th. Okay,
Yep, that's
yeah,
what
there
it
are
is.
two words. And then you have the fear of the number 666,
Yeah.
which is a phobia. Um, apparently, the number 616 is also feared. The number 17, well, yeah,
Kate,
17.
yep. Look what Kate just wrote. Yep.
Um, the number 39 is feared, and so is the number 4 in the Asian
In
countries.
the Asian cultures. Well, it's actually kind of funny. I'm just gonna throw this out as an example. I know we've been. This goes back to the number 666, which it's ironic because, like, not surprisingly, like such a number like that is used even like with prison gangs or something like that. And considering, and there's just hear me out. There's a reason why I'm bringing it up. It's ironic because this is kind of also something like with the Shamrock too, associated. Like if you've ever heard of the prison gang, the Aryan Brotherhood, which is a white supremacist prison gang, one of their particular logos, like symbols they use,
Didn't
is
we talk about them not too long ago?
possibly, but I'll just throw it out kind of as an example. But one of their symbols, surprisingly, is the shamrock, even though this is kind of more German related because it's associated with Nazism. But what's ironic, what's kind of strange, I wouldn't say ironic, what's kind of strange on that is they actually use the number 666 that they put in the three parts of the clover. So apparently, because I saw a documentary about this, like as we all know, with St. Patrick's Day coming up, the shamrock was used by St. Patrick to teach the Druids the Trinity. Now, with 666, as we all know, obviously represents the number of the beast. So in this prison gang's belief, 666 within the shamrock represents an organization that was diametrically opposed to everything that St. Patrick taught about Catholicism otherwise. But that is something that they still use as their symbol, where you have the shamrock and the number 666.
Okay.
Not necessarily a fear, but just something I just throw in there since we've been talking. I mean, I know we've been talking mostly about the number 13, but considering we've been talking about 666 a few times, I just thought I'd deliver that as just an interesting fact.
Um, notable people who are afraid of the number 13.
There was a video I saw where it was when I was trying to get the pronunciation of triskaidekaphobia, and it was through sources of different videos, and they were talking about they were talking about a historical figure, but I don't know exactly who that historical figure was. Though
The,
based
the,
on the photo of it, looks like he was from the early 20th century.
the one that surprised me that had the fear of the number 13 is Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt, really?
Franklin
Oh,
Roosevelt.
Franklin Roosevelt. Sorry. No,
Uh,
I was just reading okay, so Kate put how you're supposed to pronounce that really long word. Friga triskaidekaphobia. Friga triskaidekaphobia. Wow. She really nailed it.
what the frigga are you talking about?
That's the pronunciation of that fear of the term of the fear of Friday
I,
the 13th.
it is it really so necessary to have 20 letters to try to say something?
Well, it's like you said, it's like what Mary Poppins did. I think that was even.
I
I
want
think
to
that
talk
was even.
50 words or 50 letters.
Yeah, I think that. In fact, I think that was. I think that one was even more than 20 letters.
Yeah,
At least 30. At least 30.
and it means nothing.
Yeah, they said it like it was like nothing to them.
Yeah, can you imagine the training and the preparation and all the rehearsing that they had to do just to sing that?
Oh my God. Well,
In
not
that?
only that, think about it even over 60 years after that movie came out. Because there's obviously, it's a musical. So that's obviously like probably a type of show that's still performed like in Broadway and also like in schools and stuff like that. So you have to think too, like even in modern days, like how people, especially kids, have to remember using that word. Like, I can't even imagine. That's got to be more difficult for them than adult performers for the show. Like if it was Broadway.
I wonder if Dick Van Dyke can still sing that song.
Yeah, well, considering he's 100 years old, he's still in pretty good shape. And also, I forgot the other actress's name. She's still alive today too, and she's in her 90s now.
Either Julie or Julia Andrews.
That was because I have my Google search open right now. Yeah, it's funny to think that they're both still alive today, even after 60 years that movie came out. And that was yeah, Julie Andrews, and she compared to Dick Van Dyke, who's 100 years old.
She's in her 90s. I know that
Yeah,
much.
she turned 90 in October last year, so she just started her 90s.
Okay.
Which back then in 1964, she would have been like 29 years old.
So just think about that. The two main actors of a movie from the early 1960s who were adults then are still alive today.
Yeah, although I found out sadly that one of the kids, I think it was the girl, I think she ended up dying pretty young. I think the other kid I think is still alive, but I
No,
think
I thought the boy died young.
it was one of the two. I should have kept the page open. I don't really remember I don't remember the kids' names. So
Michael.
Michael, yeah. So Matthew Garber, that was his actual name. Yeah, he did. He passed. Oh wow, he was really young. He
Yeah,
died
he
back in
died at a
19.
young age.
Yeah, he died back in 1977. He was only 21 years old.
Yeah.
And then for the other kid, that was Karen Daughtris, I guess if I'm saying her last name correctly. Okay, so I take it back. Okay, so she's still alive. In fact, she is the same age as my mom. She's 70 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so I thought it was the girl, but it was actually the boy. And this goes like with what I just wanted to say what Kate just said about St. Patrick. Yeah, I knew he was a real person. British-born missionary who was enslaved in Ireland, escaped, and later returned. Funny enough, Kate, I actually, because again, I do have the St. Patrick's Day music list, and I do have some songs that do talk about St. Patrick, including his escape and eventually return to convert the pagan population in the 5th century. And that, you make a good point. Contrary to popular belief, St. Patrick was not even Irish. He was enslaved in Ireland and then later returned.
St. Patrick's Day is always on the 17th, right?
Yeah, it's always been on the 17th. And
Next
that
year,
is,
next year, the 17th is on a Wednesday. You should do a Nick Files on that.
oh, that's right. That's a really good idea. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So, new possible idea.
And St. Patrick's Day this year is on a Tuesday. Yeah, is on a
On
Tuesday.
a Tuesday this year. And according to like when you see like paintings and like the stained glass windows, I mean, it's not really known if he actually like wore green, like some people would say, but sometimes the stained glass windows and paintings do have him wearing green with his outfits. Although green had become, obviously before that was pretty much the standard, almost like the official color of Ireland because of the green fields and stuff like that. So
Be-
once again, it's like that's why they represent green.
because of St. Patrick's Day being on Tuesday next week. That'd be a great time to bring back Fear fans and do one of the Leprechaun movies, like maybe the Leprechaun Origins.
Oh, isn't it? Oh, wait, wasn't that the one? Was that the one that came out in 2018? Was that the one? I
I
think.
believe so. Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say I hope so because I know they made that one in 2012, but that one was absolutely terrible. I've not even seen it, nor do I plan on seeing it.
No,
I heard it's
I
that
think
terrible.
18 is the one.
Yeah,
I think
that's like
18 is the one.
yeah, it's the direct sequel to the original one from the early 90s.
No, prequel.
Oh wait, oh the pre. Oh wait, you know what? I'm thinking of the other one.
Yeah, it's Leprechaun Origins.
Here, hold on one second. I just want to make sure that the this is not the one that I think is going to be. Oh wait, oh damn it, Jeremy. I'm sorry to say this, but that's actually the one that's really bad. So I've never seen that one. I mean, I know you probably wouldn't care, but I don't know if you know.
Oh, that's the 2014 one.
Yeah, it was 2004. I thought it was 2012. It was 2014.
Then why did I think it was the 18 one?
No, the 2018 one. That's the direct sequel to the original one. That was Leprechaun Returns.
Huh. I think I have that one.
The Returns, the one from Return.
I think so. Let me check my database.
You know, it's ironic because when Leprechaun Returns came out, that because it disregards the event of the previous five sequels, which is similar, it fits to its contemporary, like with Halloween when they made the 2018 one, where it ignored all the sequels except for just the original one.
Yes, I do have Leprechaun Returns.
Okay, yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I have 1 through 4, Origins, Returns. So I do not have the two that are in the hood. Though, if I'm being honest, I don't think I want those two.
Yeah. Oh, the hood ones.
Yeah, Leprechaun in the hood and Leprechaun back to the hood.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen those ones.
Yeah. Um, so, yeah, Franklin D. Roosevelt is famous for his Fear the Number 13,
Yeah, yeah.
and Stephen King, of all people,
He's got the fear of the number 13.
he will, when he's writing, he will not stop on the page number 13,
My God, wow.
number that is divisible by the number 13. He If he gets to his quota and he's on 13 or 26 or 39 or whatever, he will continue on writing to get to the next page, and then he will stop.
That's crazy. I had no idea that he had the fear. I mean, I'm just like, that just blows my mind.
Yeah. Of
Wow.
all people, he's the one who's afraid of that number.
You really do learn something every day. And yeah, it is paranoid.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And I'm sure I mean, I wonder if this really has happened to him. Can you imagine if he had to go to like a special horror movie event, or if he had to speak somewhere, or had to appear like in a movie or documentary? Because sometimes he did appear in some of his based films. Can you imagine if they had to have him stay in room 13 at a hotel? I can't even imagine how he probably would have reacted to it.
Uh, I'm not sure. Well, one of his short stories is 1408.
Yeah, 1408, which that, when you really think about it, I mean, I know it's based on a couple things, but does hold a Chicago based store origin to it. It's to the
No, it's the numbers add up to 13.
well, it does. I'm just saying that we actually have a hotel here in Chicago where it's a very haunted room that they literally locked it up. Nobody's allowed in it. So it does it. I think that's where Stephen King might have also gotten some of that idea from too.
And he also has to sleep with the nightlight on.
Wow! Oh my God! Again, out of all people, the
Yeah.
true master of horror here, and he still has to sleep with a light on. Unbelievable.
So when so I'm gonna plug myself on this one. So with the 13th floor, I actually wrote a novella called The Vacant Floor. And
Oh,
and I actually used a scenario that I threw at you where there is a legitimate 13th floor, but it's vacant. They put no rooms. It's a wide open vacant floor, and it was left open for the specific reason of the number 13 superstition.
right. They're actually, and it's not surprising because I've seen this. I've seen it for myself. Um, you obviously know all too well when it comes to like when I bring up not only the ones that I make, but I also listen to others online of audiobooks, particularly with within the creepy pasta setting. And there had been some that I've listened to that involves the 13th floor, like typical paranormal story where somebody stays on like in a particular hotel and they find out that there's one floor that is not available to use for anybody. And then he eventually figures out a way of trying to get to that floor. And then of course, next they experience something that frightens them, and they're like, okay, that's pretty much a very good reason why nobody's allowed on that floor is because of what's going on that floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I've even heard it in some of the audiobooks. It's asking, is it a saucy novella?
Novella.
Novella, I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I've seen that word. Novella.
No, it's not. It's not a saucy. That one is not. But I do have some that are pretty spicy. They, they get pretty explicit.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
I'm
these
sure
are the kind of stories that Nick wouldn't be allowed to read.
yeah, and I probably would choose that I don't want to read them. Now, I'm
Yeah,
just going to say, Kate, Tom might, but not me. I'm innocent here.
yeah. I do have a couple of no, Kate. I do have a couple of stories that get really, really spicy. But one of those stories is actually a sexual assault
You
novel.
know what? I actually have. You might find this a little bit hard to believe, but there is a book that I do have. It's again another one of the scary stories tribute books that I have interest of wanting to eventually create an audio book series out of. This one I'm just going to record myself, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Probably not for a year or two. It's actually going to be one of the more tougher ones. And although most of the stories that I enjoy, there is one story, unfortunately, that does involve sexual assault. So even though I'll still probably record it, that's going to be one of the tougher stories for me to read because it's involving that. But also, even if I make an audiobook out of it, I'm actually a little bit reluctant of eventually releasing it because that could cause controversy.
Well, this one here that I wrote, I was actually inspired by a survivor of the Casanova killer from the
Oh
'70s,
yeah, the Casanova Killer. Yep.
and I wanted to write a story. Actually, what I wrote it would be a memoir of a survivor.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and instead of the Casanova killer, I called him the Juliet killer.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So everything is from her point of view. Um, wasn't easy to write, but I felt the need to write it.
Right, right. Jeremy's like, I can't imagine Jeremy writing spicy things. I love it to read them and then we film it.
You know what, Kate? If you would actually read some of my stuff,
She's also asking too, because she's starting it up again, asking, do they involve beards?
no, they don't involve beards. Nick would not even be able to read some of my stuff, much less try try to do an audio of it. He would
Oh
not be able
God.
to get through it.
That just already told me already, like, because I remember, because again, it's funny you brought that up. I'm just gonna throw it out. That one time, like when Jenny and Aiden Quinn were trying to make the audiobook for the Nightmare Soup series, and they made a completely different version, which they even said to this day, I'm not allowed to hear that one because it was extreme. Kate said she's getting there. She just wish she had more. She wish she had more time to read.
She's had my stuff for 2 years.
Well, tell her that.
Well, she's been dealing with a lot of shit
Yeah,
too.
oh, yeah, yeah. She's told us a few times over what's been going
Yeah. So, well, she got me completely caught up a couple weeks ago. Um, so it's really not at all surprising.
Yeah, yeah.
Nick, weren't you supposed to leave like in 2 minutes?
No, it turned. I actually just got a text message from my friend Nikki. She's actually going to show up at 8, so I got a little bit of time to get ready. In between, she said that she got out a little bit later than expected, so I'm not in a terrible rush now.
Okay. Well, so she's going to be picking you up in a half hour.
Yes, yes,
That half hour is going to go by quick.
yeah, it will.
I'll tell you what. Let's get our time up to 1:30, and then we'll go.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
So just a couple more minutes, and by the time we get off, I'll still have a few minutes in between. I mean, I'm for the most part, I'm pretty much all ready to go. I just got to get my shoes and my wall and whatnot, and I'm all set. So, of course, obviously, I'm not going to wear this when we go to the haunted house. I don't know if you noticed, I've been wearing this. I took it off a few times, but this is the newest addition to my Friday the 13th gear. These are actually glasses. It's part of Jason's mask.
Like like actual prescription glasses or just
No, no, they're like sunglasses.
sunglasses?
Yeah, they're dimmed. So yeah, they're kind of like sunglasses. Yep. And yes, I even wore these to work today because normally I don't work on Fridays, but because it's Friday the 13th and the store manager, wanted me there because he wanted to see what I dress up for Friday the 13th. I brought these two with along with the rest of this for this special occasion, and he loved it. He loved it.
So he actually schedules you on days just to see what you're going to dress up as.
Yeah, but that was also my request. I wanted to be there for that day. Just to
Oh,
have,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
that was that. I'm going out for the fun, and with St. Patrick's Day coming up in this case, he doesn't have to change things up because I work on Tuesdays anyway. The only other day that he's got to reschedule, rechange my days to work is a Sunday in a couple weeks because obviously then we got not too far away. Surprisingly, Easter will be coming up, and I'll be dressing up for that occasion too. So I'm gonna have to tell him to have me scheduled for Sunday so that way I could be for Easter, so that way I can be there. But that's the only other day that I'm sure he'll probably switch me so he could see my Easter outfit for that occasion. He already knows that he's going to see me for St. Patrick's Day. And no, Kate, I'm not going in a green ball gown.
Don't encourage him, Kate.
I don't no. I don't need to do that. I already have a St. Patrick's Day outfit. So it's not that I'm ever going to go on a green ball gown. I know I already have something which is more obviously not only Irish.
To be a bad influence on you.
She would. Why do you think I'm not going to go with her suggestion of wearing a green ball gown? That would also, from what I understand too, that would also be very.
Actually, Nick, you wear a green ball gown. We get Scott Wilson with you in his little pink tutu. Because you know where I'm going with this.
Yes, I have.
A picture like that would go viral.
Probably. That's right. Yes, Kate, it is true. I mean, a green ball ground is pretty sparkly. So, but I don't want to go like with Twilight, like sparkly looking.
Well, at least nobody would miss you.
I'd really stand out in the crowd. That's for sure. Get everyone's attention. She also said, and also to answer your question earlier, Kate. No, it's just for tonight. Going to this haunted, it's just gonna be me and Nikki. That's gonna be it. No one else is available, but I am meeting with everyone else. Well, I'm seeing Nikki today and tomorrow, but I am seeing everybody else for the parade tomorrow and for tomorrow night because, as I've already said before, we have our annual holiday movie night for St. Patrick's Day. So, not surprisingly, we'll be watching Leprechaun tomorrow night. And I'm just going to throw it out. Among those that's coming out tomorrow is, of course, Tyler. So it'll be her first time seeing the Chicago, like as I said, seeing the Chicago River Green. Hopefully, see the parade and come out to one of our holiday movie nights. But I don't know if I'm going to wear a green ball gown for her, though.
She'd probably get a kick out of it.
She probably would.
But she would also probably thinking, okay.
See, that's why I don't want Kate to act as a bad influence to me on that.
But bad influence can be fun.
Well, I'm not sure about that between me and Tyler. I'm not so sure about that. Hey, I actually suggested this to Kate last. I said this to Kate last night after we got off the show. I said to her at one point, saying, Kate, you really have a thing with Jeremy's beard. And she said, when I said next, I just lost it. It was so, because I thought to myself, well, she really has a thing with beards.
She actually has a group of people that she talks to about beards.
Well, here's what okay, so I said to her right after we got off, you really can't resist Jeremy's beard. And she originally said, I only did that to annoy Adrian. And then she said, I am generally interested. And then what I did next, because I just had to do it, I said, if you love Jeremy's beard, I'm sure you'll love this one just as much as him. And I sent this picture of Nicolas Cage with a beard.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's like, no. I literally lost it.
Well, I will say this: on camera, my beard looks a lot better than it does in person.
Well,
that's my feeling.
Well, here's the thing: after I lost it, I literally said that to Kate, and her response, she sent the case with this beard from Nicolas Cage. She said, I gagged and threw up in my mouth looking at that. Last thing I said too was, what a pain to see your reaction. It's like she could start a trust fund.
Well, then she can go to Tombstone, Arizona, so that she can go look at the Beard Cage Theater.
There you go, Kate. And yeah, I guess Kate said that there's a beard community
on Fleek.
I'm not sure about Fleek, but
what the hell is a Fleek?
I was gonna say that. I was about to ask the same question. What the hell is a Fleek, Kate?
If she meant to say on point, then okay, I can get behind that. But on fleek,
I have never heard of that term before. Fleek.
I never heard of it either.
Hey Chris, Cam puts 3 pounds of hair.
You know what? Sometimes it feels. When I was out today, and the wind was all crazy, I felt like I was getting pulled by the beard with all that wind. I'm not kidding. It was crazy out there.
On Fleek. Okay. Chris and Kate. mention. Extremely good, attractive, or stylish.
Okay,
Being on point or looking really good from Chris.
I can definitely get behind that. Definitely get behind that.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, it's time for me to let you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I
Uh,
gotta get ready.
Little Miss Nikki is going to be coming over to pick up our Nikki.
And go into a haunted house where it's the Disturbia haunted house, in case anyone asks. And we're going to be going, it's actually going to be St. Patrick's Day themed this time. So we're going to be seeing scary leprechauns.
Also, you're going to meet Warwick Davis.
That would be awesome if he was actually there. That would be amazing. And I actually have seen the actors that play the leprechauns. They really do look like him with his character.
It would be cool to meet him, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I know, like, people sometimes ask for his, like, they give requests to him of, like, speaking his leprechaun voice, and he usually does it very freely, like, without issues. So he loves it. He says that he loves his character. He wants to do more movies. In fact, I don't know if you even heard, he even said he would love to see a television series made of Leprechaun.
I don't know. After what they did with Chucky,
Yeah. Sir Warwick. That is true, Kate. Yes. Look after that beard, Jeremy. Kate said. Just
they
got
they
well.
went way off the rails on that TV series for Chucky.
Yeah, it's hard
Um,
to say.
for Leprechaun Returns, Warwick David elected not to reprise that role.
Right, and yeah, that's right, Chris. He was also an Ewok too in
Yep,
Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
yep.
I think he was still like a teenager at that time when he was playing one of those characters. I think he was still a kid. Because I know,
Ba-
like, when he did Leprechaun, like the first one, he was like in his mid-20s, I think.
he was barely a teenager. He was born in 1970.
Well, in that case, with Return of the Jedi, because that came out in 1983, so he would have been only like 12 or 13 years old back then.
You know, he would have been 12 years old.
Yeah, so he was still a kid then. I was right.
So he wasn't even a teenager then.
Yeah, but he did say, like, again, I know what you mean by Chucky, but Warwick Davis, in his case, he liked the idea of not only playing his character, but have his character set this time in the Wild West, searching for his goal. That's what he suggested.
Uh, oh my.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that would probably be better than what In the Hood might have been. I hadn't seen In the Hood.
I've seen them. I saw both of them.
Uh, I can't imagine either one of those being very good.
I mean, Warwick Davis. Everything else, I'm like, I wasn't too crazy about. Although in the Hood, they also do have Ice-T, and it's kind of, I know he's been like, that's 25 years where he's always a cop, but it's kind of weird to see him this time as a criminal.
You're starting to freeze up a little bit.
I am. Oh, it
You,
didn't
you
seem.
were, you were.
Oh, that was weird. I didn't see it from my end.
No, you never do.
It's weird how it acts up, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go so that you can get prepared for when Nikki comes to pick you up.
Yeah, she's coming in about like 20 minutes or so I got to get going. But Jeremy, this was a great conversation. If talk about the origins of Friday the 13th, I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping we can do another conversation like this again, if you're able to. That is, like, for the next Friday the 13th, because, like I said, I honestly think there's a.
That'll be in November. So if I'm still down there, I've got problems.
Well, that's why I said if you are able to. So,
I I,
um,
I should be fine then, and
okay,
that'll be in the seventh season of 13th Dimension.
it would be. But,
Yeah.
I just think that there's a lot more to talk. There's a lot more things to look up for the origins of Friday the 13th.
And maybe by then you and I will have a little bit of extra time to actually do some research so that we
Yeah,
can.
yeah. That's actually that's actually something that, just like you mentioned about the idea for St. Patrick's Day, maybe I should eventually make like a Nick Files special of like the origins of Friday the 13th. Hey, A Train, unfortunately, we're just about to end things, but either way, whether a Nick Files episode or like another episode of 13th Dimension, I'm all for continuing to talk about the origins. But this was a really good conversation.
Yeah, it took us a minute to get going, but once we got going, we got going.
Just want
Um,
to say, I
like,
just also,
like that diesel engine, you gotta get that thing revved up a
yeah,
little.
that's
Then
right.
finally, oh yeah, okay, here we go. Talk, talk, talk.
And I'm just gonna say this just before we get off here. Again, I know I just spoke these glasses. I guess you can kind of believe it or not. I guess I had a little bit of bad luck myself when I got these because I waited almost 2 weeks for these to show up. These actually got shipped all the way from Australia. But when I got these,
Where'd you order it from?
it was from a website called, I think it's called Pop Chilada or Pop Chuleta. I don't know how it's pronounced, but um, it was all in good shape. Like they sell these in great shape. But when I got mine, you probably didn't even notice this, but one of the arms was broken for the glasses. So there's only one arm. And we thought about gluing it. Of course, it was not going to be able to be glued because it was not the part that actually like moves back and forth to glue it back together. It was like a middle part of it that, there was no way that we can glue it together. We thought about taping it, but that didn't work. But my mom suggested earlier this morning when I got ready for work, I thought, is there any possibility that maybe you might be able to wear it even with just one? So I put it on, and to my complete surprise, even with just one of the arms,
Why not return it?
well, I don't know if I can return it, but as soon as I saw that it was damaged, I immediately contacted them and I told them, hey, and I sent a picture of them saying, hey, this is broken. And I waited like 2 weeks for this. I mean, I came to the conclusion knowing that even if they did send me another one, the one thing I knew for sure was that I was not going to be able to get a replacement, so quickly in time for Friday the 13th. So, in spite that this is damaged, it is still holding up as long as I'm not looking
You're not
down.
going to get anything quick from an import,
Well,
especially today.
exactly. So, but the bottom line was I was going to have to use this one way or another, and I only needed to use it for one day. At least it was able to hold up and stay on my face throughout the course of the day. I mean, obviously now I don't have to worry about the next one until November. So once I try to get a replacement, now I got plenty of time to get it.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I'll ask you the same three questions I've been asking pretty much everyone else
Oh yes,
at this moment. Nick, what are three things you are grateful for
three things that I'm grateful for as of right now.
as of right now?
I know it's probably going to be a lot of the same stuff, but I'll say it again anyway. My family, my friends, and of course my girl that I've been seeing, Tyler. I would say those are the three. And actually, well, I'm not going to say a fourth thing. I'm just going to extend the first thing. Both my actual family and my paranormal family. I don't want to keep you guys out.
I think you said that last time too.
Yeah, exactly. I should have said my two
Saying
family.
that last time.
What's that?
I seem to remember you saying that the last time too.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I've been trying to practice, but I should have actually been more or less saying my two families in this case.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, thanks for being on the show tonight. This will be the last episode for 2 weeks. I know I took last week off because I really wanted to take a week off.
Yeah. We all need that break.
Yeah. Um, no 13th dimension for the next 2 weeks, but if I can work it out, I'm planning on doing a final 13th dimension on April 3rd. which is my dad's birthday. Um, I will be having a little surprise for him on that day.
And it's funny to think,
And, huh?
I'll be back on that one alongside with Adrian.
Yeah, well, I'm planning on having a few people on for that one,
Oh, okay. See,
but
I remember you said last night, both of us. I didn't know that there was going to be others going to be, but either way, that's going to be fun.
well, it's going to depend on whether or not I actually get what I ordered.
Okay, okay.
That's going to be the determination whether or not I even do the show.
All righty. That sounds like a good plan either way, though. So I'm looking forward to whatever happens.
Right. So I'm not going to plan anything until after next Saturday because next Saturday will tell the tale.
All right, that
So,
sounds good.
so anyway, for those out there in the audience, thank you for playing along with us, spending your Friday evening or night or Saturday morning or wherever you're
Or
from.
you're overseas or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, be safe this weekend. I think was it this weekend? Was yeah, we're supposed to get snow next week.
They said that we were supposed to get some snow tomorrow, which, in my personal opinion, that's going to add more to the festive feeling with the parade. So that should be fun. But they are still telling us when we go out to the city to be safe because I'm not going to go into it this too deep. So I'm going to make this real quick. But supposedly there's rumors of in the city of Chicago that supposedly a couple sleeper cells were found. And although the chances of anything bad happening tomorrow is unlikely, the best thing we need to do is proceed with extreme caution. Be aware of our surroundings, and if anything suspicious goes on, I mean, well, I don't know if we'd be able to report it, but at least just try to get away from it and get as far as we possibly can. Because just like anything else, at the end of the day, yes, I mean we're all going to the city to have a good time and enjoy the parade, but at the same time, most important thing is safety, and I want to make sure that me and everyone that's going out tomorrow, we're all safe tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's obviously I'll keep it. If I post pictures, because I'm going to post pictures like I always do with my social gatherings. If I post pictures or videos or whatever, that will obviously give you guys an idea of how I'm doing. So to me, I think that's kind of an important thing. It's not just saying that I'm having a good time. It's actually letting people know, saying, so far everything's good. We're having fun and we're okay so far.
And I was just checking to see we are expecting some snow Monday, no, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week.
Okay. Okay.
Yay.
Okay. Well, I got a feeling. I had a feeling there was going to be one last round with the snow before it was officially going to be done. That's just how it usually works, especially when you're in the month of March.
Yeah, but I don't want to see any more snow unless I'm going in the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And that's exactly where I'm going next week.
Right. Right.
All right, Nick, get out of here.
I'm getting. It's like that type of message saying you don't have to go home, but you need to get the hell off this show.
There you go. Get the hell off my show. Now, watch. Somebody's going to use a clip of that and say that I'm abusing you.
And then they start making a YouTube report. So then
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Until next time, let's see, no shows at all next week. We will do a supernatural talk in 2 weeks because that'll really be the only time that I'll be able to do a show. And then after that, we'll figure it out.
all righty.
So
Sounds
until then, Nick, enjoy your night. Have fun. Don't hit any leprechauns.
good. God, no.
And everybody out there, we will see you next time. Have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend. And have a good night, everybody.
Happy Friday the 13th.